Dear Deacon Joel, his parents, family members, relatives, and friends, members of the community of grace, and all my brothers and sisters. I know this, many of you have come after a long journey, and for some of you, it is the time of the siesta. You are free to do that for the coming few minutes. But after that, once we begin the celebration of the ordination, please keep awake. I would like to say a few words to the parents first, and those who are closely associated with Joel, then to the priests who have gathered here, and finally a few words to Joel himself, because it is his day. Many years ago, when I was in the Salesian seminary at Shillong, we used to have many boys coming and joining the seminary from all the parts of India. There was one very smart young man from one of the cities in Kerala, and he was doing very well, but unfortunately, he had a habit. We could not allow him to continue there. We tried 1 year, it was not successful. We gave a second chance, and towards the middle of the second year, we had to tell him, my dear man, it's better that you go home. And he had no grievance, no grudge. He came away very happily. Later he told me, when he reached home, his mother saw him and was very sad that he had terminated his stay there and come away. So she asked him, my dear son, we wanted you to be a priest. Why did you come away? How is that you couldn't manage? And his simple, cool answer was, Mommy, I went to work in the vineyard of the Lord, but now he doesn't need workers anymore because he has sold his vineyard. So I came away. Looking at it, we might feel it as a very funny answer, but when we reflect on the life today, was he not a prophet? And we are living in an age where goodness or greatness is, or success is measured in terms of the amount of money that a person has, or the amount of power or influence that he or she wields in the society. And in such a situation, into such a culture, for parents to let a young man of their own to go, really to go into the unknown, to the uncertain, with very lofty goals, but unclear paths. It is not easy. And the parents of Joel has taken the risk of letting him go. And on behalf of the Catholic Church, not just of the community of grace, I really want to congratulate them and thank them. But then, just by letting this go, your duty doesn't end. Or with ordination, your duty doesn't end. You just can't let him be. It is said that when John Bosco was ordained and met his mother in the evening of that ordination day, his mother told him, today you are ordained and you begin to suffer. Your life of suffering begins today. And then the second sentence she said was, woe to you if I ever see you as a rich priest. I will disown you. If I see you as a rich priest, I will disown you. Well, my dear friends, family and parents, we don't have to disown, but we just have to help Joel and any other priest to be a poor priest so that he may be available to the people of God, so that he becomes rich in goodness, rich in service, rich in availability. And this very important task you are taking up today, and you can't ever fail in it. And it is not just that prayer, our normal, our Father Hail Mary, or one intention during some prayer, but the prayer from the heart, the intercessory prayer that we heard in the first reading, where Moses prayed for his people. He asks God, did I give birth to these people that you are putting them all on my head? You have put them on my head, and so make me carry this load. And as a priest, when Joel faces tough times in his ministry, your intercessory prayer, like Moses, not just for him, but for the people that he ministers to, must be reaching God, and God definitely will answer it. And we know how our parental and our family belonging can encourage people, can carry them a long way, can give meaning to their lives in times of difficulties, in times of problems. And you have offered him today, years ago, but today completely you're offering him to God. That offering to God is an offering to the church. From today, he belongs to the Catholic Church, not to any congregation, not to any diocese, not to the community, but to the church. And his ministry, his time, his talents will be dedicated to this church and for the whole people of God, wherever obedience will take him. And it is your duty, is our common duty to facilitate this and to make sure that it happens. And my dear fathers, who are all here for the ordination, I know none of us will be with him in his field of ministry after a month. He will be somewhere where none of us work, and our contacts will be very limited. But the life and ministry of a priest, wherever it is the same. It is similar kind, and the problems that we face, the blessings that we enjoy are all the same. Now, together, we have to reflect. Together, we have to help him. Together, we have to own him up in all the situations of life. In all that he faces, in all that he enjoys, we must face, we must enjoy together with him. And for this, a renewal, a recommitment, a reconsideration in our own life, in the lives of priests in general, is required. If we look at ourselves today, we have almost forgotten many of the values that we held as dear in our early days. Today, we have recourse to all sorts of psychological and management tactics, tricks, and other facilities and faculties. But they will not solve, they will not clearly show the path to a priest, because the path he has chosen, the path he travels is one of the gospel. And only the gospel can show a clear solution to the problems. Only the gospel can show the clear path to a priest who tries to follow that. We have today courses, retreats, and all kinds of reformative sessions in which we talk about the psychosexual growth, and I do not know what all terminologies we have. But I don't think any one of them can really paste us to Christ. The only way is what St. Paul says in his letters: I am crucified with Christ. There is no other word. There is no other description, no other technique or technology that can give meaning to our priestly life. We just have to humbly and honestly say, I am nailed to the cross with Christ. And when we find the pain of those nails, when we experience the pain of isolation, and we are able to say, I am on the cross with Christ, we will all be able to find meaning to any problem that we face in our lives. Today, the biggest talk in the church among the clergy, especially inspired by the psychologists, is mental health. So much of talk, so much of discussion about mental health. I am not saying it is not important, but no amount of theory, no amount of counseling, no amount of applying of mental health questionnaires can give meaning to the life of a priest if he is not helped to return to St. Paul and along with Paul say, I am crucified with Christ. And in this I find my joy. And if one is able to say that, if one is able to find a fulfillment in that, in every moment of his life, particularly of doubt and of anxieties, I'm sure there will be nothing called a crisis. There may be moments of difficulties, but not crisis. There may be a moments of distraction, but there will be no discouragement. And we need to help each other for this. Any other help we try to render to our companions, to our fellow priests, is just distracting them or taking them away from the real cross, from real life. When our cross is removed, we are removing them from any hope of the resurrection. So let us all, dear fathers, be convinced that our fullest happiness is when we are able to say, I am crucified with Christ, and my life begins here, but it ends in the resurrection. And my dear deacon, today the Lord calls you. It is not just a call, He anoints you with a special selection. And this anointing implies certain things. And I want to remind you of just a couple of them. The first thing, He expects you to preach the gospel with joy. Please, almost neglect that word preach, but underline that word with joy. The joyful life that you live, the joyful way you relate with others, the joyful way in which you communicate whatever you want to communicate, the joyful way you even correct a person will be the best preaching that you can do. And this preaching will be very effective, and the people will see truth in it. We know we have enough preachers today. Preachers of doom, preachers of so many kinds. But on your ordination day, what I request to you is, may you be a messenger of joy, which without being spelt out is experienced by everyone you deal with, everyone who comes across you. And the second is, may you be a priest who celebrate the sacraments with faith, especially the sacraments of baptism, confession, and the Holy Eucharist. And the depth of the faith that you have will be the depth of the experience of the people of God, of the sacraments that you administer. So, in other words, may you not administer the sacraments of baptism or the Eucharist or confession, but may you share it. Share your faith through baptism. Share your faith through the breaking of the bread, and share your conviction through the sacrament of confession that you frequent, seeing which others will also frequent, in which you see the presence of Christ, others will see. Instead, if these three are your mechanical or just performance of duty, others will also take it as fulfillment of obligations. Obligations to have children baptized, the Easter duty, or the yearly confession. But not a manifestation of faith, not a step to grow in the faith, not getting close to Jesus. So this administering the sacraments or sharing the sacraments with the faith, complete manifestation of the faith, will make you effective as a priest. So in every celebration of your Mass and other sacraments, may your faith be seen and shared by people. And then to counsel, to intercede, and be with the people of God with love. Just a week ago, a teacher in Arunachal Pradesh, one of our tribal people, who is the headmaster of a government school, he told me, Bishop, in the month of March, I met our priests. We had 5 local tribal priests ordained at the end of last year, beginning of this year, December, January. And they happened to be in a parish program all together in March. And this teacher who was there, without telling any one of us, took the liberty to call these 5 young priests together and told them, look, my dear fathers, now you are all young priests. I am telling you, we do not want you to be anything other than holy priests. I am talking on behalf of my people, of our people. We do not want anything else from you other than being holy priests. When this teacher told me 2 weeks ago that I told this to the priests, I said, thank you very much. If I had said this, and I have said this many times, probably they never believed it. But I am sure when you said it, they have believed it, and I really hope that it has gone to their heart. Now, as priests, counseling may not be by words, may not be by our expertise, but our simple interventions in the lives of people will make them think about the mercy of God, think about the presence of God, think about the availability of God's grace to everyone. Our scholarly expositions of the sacraments or any of those chapters on grace and sin and all that may not affect them, may not influence them, may not draw them to Christ. But our simple word, a timely intervention, maybe a kind word or a word of little reprimand will make them think, make them reflect, and make them grow in grace and become people who experience the love of God, experience the presence of God. And in all these, if we do it with love, they are able to find it, they are able to distinguish that, and they will be able to find out the difference between anger and love, between all other feelings and love. They are able to find it out, and they will respond to it with love. And when they respond to any of our action, to any of our words with love, then we have established a bridge. We have established a relationship, and relationship will take us to God. And that will help to establish a relationship between us and God. And this is something that as a young priest and even as an old priest, you will have to endeavor to do in your life. And all of us present here surely will pray today and all the days to come that you be able to fulfill it today. And another aspect of your life should be to be a Christ in today's world. We have many people, many priests who try to imitate Christ in many ways. Some time ago, I saw a YouTube in which one of the priests who was working in Meow Diocese, he had a very long hair, and the YouTuber in the interview asked him, "Father, why are you keeping this long hair?" And he said, "I want to be like Jesus Christ. I want to look like Jesus Christ." So when I saw that, I realized that he was already transferred and gone from the diocese. Otherwise, I would have called him and told him to get a haircut and to become Jesus in some other way. But then he was no more there. Now we try many ways to show that we are trying to imitate Christ. I don't think anybody is going to be taken up by that. Neither your cassock, nor your collar, nor the crucifix that you wear, nothing of this sort is going to make people see Christ in you. It is your life. Every word, every look, every touch. And may you be able to live this through all that you do and all that you are. May Christ be experienced by others, and that way may you be the alter Christus, or the other Christ, another Christ in today's world. And finally, but most importantly, proclaiming Christ. Today we are living at a time where there is so much debate, there is so much discussion whether we should preach about Christ, we should evangelize, and all those things. But I think the Gospels leave us no choice. Tells us, go to the whole world and proclaim the good news. Paul says, preach in season and out of season. And the same Paul says, woe to me if I do not preach the gospel. And this is not a duty that we have chosen, but this is something that is laid upon us by baptism. Every one of us has accepted this responsibility, and at no time in our life can we compromise on this, or in no time can we mix this with other considerations. And wherever you are, whatever be the ministry that you be involved, we pray that you will have the courage, you will have the grace, and you will have the wisdom to give the good news to everyone you meet. And may they accept it from you because of your faith, your love, and your conviction.